Hello, Monday, coming at you live here at Inside Production Studios here in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Robert Morales, and I'm with my esteemed co-host today, Miss Ashley Miller from Great American Title. Ashley, say hello.
Hello, everyone. It's Ashley Miller with Great American Title. How are you guys?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't know if anybody else can hear you, but we're here on Monday. We're here on Monday because we're taking questions live and talking about real estate and the things that bring this market to fruition. But if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave that
Thumbs up, heart us.
Yeah, if you love us and love what we're talking about, hit the little love icon on there.
I love you or I love you.
Oh, that's good.
I know
If you're on YouTube right now, hit the like button, because what else is your thumb doing right now? Well. And subscribe to the channel, and you can kind of watch us do our thing every week here. So we're going to be here. It's Monday Market 15, the 15-minute show that takes roughly about 30 minutes, and that's just the way things work around here because we can't seem to be ever on time or do things the right way, whatever that means.
There's no right way. So this actually plays into what we're talking about.
Oh boy.
So as if you've already been watching me in previous on my Facebook Live, we're talking about accountability, which I like to label it as count your ability. Because we don't is that a cheers?
Yeah, that was.
We unfortunately as a society, it's very hard for us to count our ability because there's so many social norms and what we're supposed to do, and there's so many things. We're a product of our environment. There's so many things that are building us down, and so many people to look up to, and then we have, we're very envious, and there's so many things that are happening. And the word accountability to me doesn't necessarily mean like pointing fingers, like you're accountable, you did this wrong. Accountability to me means finding your ability and holding yourself accountable and integrity.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's holding yourself to your own standards, and whatever your expectations are, they're the same expectations you hold for yourself, whatever they are. That could be significant to somebody else, that could be significant to you. Whatever it is, just hold yourself to that same standard. So we're talking about accountability, but how does that relate back to real estate?
Okay, so here is how it relates back to real estate.
She had a lot. She had a lot to say. She was like busting out at the door.
Shut up when I got here and save it for the radio.
I did tell her.
Here's the thing. When we think about real estate, gosh, I hate when I say, and I hate the word hate. So I just double negative and triple negative everything I wanted to say. We have real estate agents. We have sellers. We have buyers. We have title, like I'm in title. We have lenders. We have appraisers. We have inspectors. There's so many people who play a role. There's so many people who play a role in a real estate transaction.
Yeah.
Nobody is holding each other accountable. Not one person.
Is that in relation to like the prices and the things that are going on in the market right now?
Everything. And I'm going to give you not necessarily a specific scenario. So I'm just going to run down from the top to the bottom. So we have a buyer. A buyer thinks their house is worth more than what it is. Yep. Sorry, buyers. You guys do. We all do. Oh, everything we think we have is always fancy. I have the best clothes, the best purse, because we all have our own taste and our own personality. And everything that we own, we love and we appreciate. So we think it's worth more. This necklace to you guys might be worth nothing. This necklace to me is worth, actually, there's no price. There's literally no price on it.
Yep.
So relating that to homes. Now, a seller... Well, that was a seller. Buyer. A buyer is like, the house is not worth this. You know what I mean? They're not recognizing all the money that it took to do the landscape, the turf, the pool, the front yard, the brick, because they don't understand the cost of what it takes. Maybe the appliances, they don't understand that. And then here's the realtor trying to be the middleman, the one that's like rationalizing it all, because your job basically sucks at this point. Because they think their house is worth $1 million. Your buyer is like, it's only worth much, but it really is. So you're like the balancer. Then you have the appraiser who comes in. So if you get an appraiser that's from Apache Junction, who's appraising a house in North Phoenix or Scottsdale, they don't know the market. They don't know the ability that market has or what that market's going to look like. We have so many people. And then you have the lender who's just looking at numbers, if that. Then you have the title company like us.
You are from Great American Title.
From Great American Title, who I just put together the marketing material. Yep. But then our escrow officers, they get bombarded because we have the realtor over here who is trying to facilitate the paperwork. Then we have the lender and the processors and all this who's trying to facilitate the paperwork. Then we have the buyer and the seller, maybe a solar company, or maybe an appraiser, or maybe a termite inspector, we have all these people. And guess what? What does everyone do?
Well, I think from
They all
every
point fingers.
from every aspect of each one of those positions or jobs, they're very focused on what they're trying to do. An appraiser is trying to appraise a house. They don't really take in regard of the situation or the family on either side. You have a lender who's trying to process the loan. It's not always about money, motivation, or anything. It's just we're all kind of unifocused on the job at hand. And I think as agents, we tend to see the family, we tend to see the real life aspects of what real estate is, where all these other elements kind of are somewhat separated with it. They're not necessarily in the home, they're not necessarily walking through the home, but they do get to hear it on one aspect or another.
So there's many frustrations that come from so many sides, and that's why I didn't call it. That's why I said it's not just accountability; it's counting your ability. And so Jen said, it's unreal what's happening in the real estate market today. It is unreal because everyone has ability to perform a job.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be so biased right now on the title side. We get the shit into the stick. Can I say shit? Because I just did. Well, we do.
I can't avoid it now. I can't bleep you out now.
The lender comes in.
Oh, boy.
And we're all just getting yelled at for all these different things. The seller's calling us, the solar company's calling us, the buyer's calling us, because all our job is to put together the paperwork. So we have the ability to perform our task, just like you as an agent has the ability to perform your task. The lender has his ability. The appraiser has his ability. But are we using our ability to the full potential, and are we holding each other accountable?
I think I know what you're talking about in relation to like the prices and the way things are going. A lot of people, even myself, because I'm looking at purchasing a home myself, I'm priced out of the market, even though I'm coming with 20% down, even though I have
I'm proud of you for that, by the way.
Oh.
That's pretty impressive.
I try to save my money. I try not to spend all this stuff.
Really? Because I just came into his studio, and this is my fourth-ish time in here.
Yeah.
And he has a brand new microphone. It's
I've had this
fancy.
for a while. Okay, so I've had this. This is my studio mic for music.
I love it. It's amazing.
It's just fancy. That's all it is.
It's super fancy.
But what I think you're getting to is that because people are overpriced in this market, and we're not able to facilitate our normal jobs, and it depends on which side you're on. You either, I think. As an agent myself too, I see the real life aspects of a family not getting a home or understand their situation, and it's like you want to fight to try to get them a home or whatever it is, but you're coming against this wall of being overbid, out contracted, people doing crazy stuff that you don't want necessarily your client to have to go through, like waiving appraisals or waiving inspections, because that's not fair to them.
We're relying, Robert. We're relying on other people to do their part, which goes back to holding them to a certain standard. And it's frustrating. I think we have a lot of frustration right now. Like, it's how do we get to that point where we're doing our jobs the best we can with the utmost integrity that we have, and making sure our whole entire team, because a real estate transaction, think about it. How many aspects are there? If we could start from the top to the bottom. Well,
there's the other agent, so you have to go see the house. You have the other family.
Let's go from the beginning.
Oh boy.
Finding
a
buyer that wants to buy.
Yeah.
As an agent for you.
Yeah.
Finding a seller that wants to sell. We bring them together, and it's like a relationship. It's like dating. Like, you're a matchmaker.
I am.
You are. You're like the new RCO network matchmaking, right? So you put them together. Then you go see houses. Yeah. So you're just like online dating. Hopefully they don't use Zillow.
Well, I mean, it's got its function,
Well, so does Bumble and Tinder, but I'm not using that.
Oh boy, you're
in
the
want the face to face. This goes back to now. I'm going to bring this into dating.
Oh.
So let's actually take this to a whole nother level. A buyer and a seller.
She's going there.
Buyer and a seller. You're bringing them together, right? So with dating, they can go on all these different dating sites. Zillow, realtor.com, name it some more.
Redfin.
Redfin. There's so many. There's just like we relate it to Bumble, Tinder,
Match.com.
Match.com, Hinge.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're
Are you
whatever.
promoting Match.com? Which one are you on?
I've never been on
Where
one.
can I find
because
you? Oh, no.
the most important thing is to build relationships, as you and I know.
Absolutely.
Build a relationship. And with buying a house, it's the same thing. It's building the relationship. So now you're building this relationship.
Yep.
You have your realtor who's taking you out, and you're holding them accountable for finding you a home and building a relationship with a realtor that is selling a home.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's usually done through another agent. So the hard part
so
about
the agents on both ends,
Yeah.
they're building that relationship. That would be like me, like let's say like you were like my gay best friend. And I was
I'm
like,
not, by the way.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
not.
Robert. And I want you to find me like
I am not her
super
best friend.
cute boyfriend. And
boy.
so like your job as
I'm not
the
gay.
other person, I'm the buyer, you're the seller,
Yep.
you're introducing a friend to me. So get rid of Zillow and Realtor and all these different things. Get rid of all these sites that are like dating housing sites and start
Yeah.
taking the buyer and the seller agents and introducing them to buyers and sellers.
Why can't I just be your friend? Why do I have to be the gay friend?
Well, I don't know. In this case, you just were gay.
Do I have a hang up
I
for
mean, you're
that?
not gay, but now, like,
I'm
in this
just kidding.
case, you're gay.
Anyway.
So building that relationship.
Yeah.
So now you built that relationship. Now you have the house, and you come into a contract.
Yeah.
You're building that relationship, and from that point forward, now you're bringing in other people. So, and the only reason why I use a relationship in this case. So now you find the house, you sign a contract. It's like, okay, now we're dating, and we decide that we're going to move forward. Now you have to introduce them to your lender. Well, hopefully they would have a lender before then, but if they don't, now your title company, your marketer, your EO,
Inspector.
your appraiser, your inspector, your termite guy. Like now that's your family. So now you have your family
Yeah, and you
that you have to introduce them to.
And you reach out to people you trust too.
So when I go back to accountability, count your ability. So now we have to start looking at our family, our real estate family, and who we can count on. Who we can count on.
I think it's really challenging to find people you trust, because there's so many. Going back to the original thought, there's so many people with self-interest. You may get loan processors out there that are very focused on just processing the loan, which there's a financial incentive there. You have inspectors who may be motivated too, who just want the home to be
They're just
passed along.
It's just a transaction.
You have appraisers who may be facing kind of that pressure to appraise a house at the right price, because at the end of the day, you don't want to have to go back to an appraiser and be like, hey, challenge whatever they came out as an outcome.
Do you think that we're losing our integrity when it comes to real estate? Because if we go back to the rule book, the playbook, let's go back to the playbook, the original.
Is this the dating book?
No, this is a real estate playbook, but we can all relate it back.
We're
to
equating
dating.
it back to dating.
But I'm not talking about dating. So,
Yes.
in real estate, a
Yes.
buyer is supposed to give in 3 options: 3
Yep.
options for title, 3 options for a lender. It doesn't work that way anymore. It's they come in, they need to be pre-approved. They probably already have a title company they're working for. So you come in, they already have their family set up. So now you're coming in, you're like, all right, we're going in with the family already. It's like baggage.
Yeah.
And then you go meet the seller, and the seller's like, haha, nope. We already have our people. Why are we, like, we need to take this back to the basics. Like, let's start courting each other. Let's stop doing the things we're doing, but we can't because the market is so crazy. And we're not holding each other accountable for the original rules. The original rules are you court somebody. You open the doors. You give them options. Like, we're not doing that anymore.
I think it's a cultural shift between how we're buying
is.
houses. I mean, we're becoming more distant between, in an old school way of doing a transaction. You meet the other person, you kind of do a handshake. Now everything's electronic.
I know.
So now you can go online and actually pick out the home virtually through
Virtually, yeah.
Zillow and Redfin, and you kind of scratch your head wondering why you need an agent. But then after they protect you and make sure they get your stuff. You realize, oh wow, I'm really glad I got that.
You should have had
But there's so many people out there that think, and because of our electronic world, because of internet and everything else, we've separated that sense of communication, just like dating.
No, I never see things back to dating. So we go on Bumble, right? And, well,
she's on Bumble.
Not me.
Look
I'm
for
not.
her on Bumble.
I'm literally not. I'll tell you a really funny story about Bumble. I guess when it first came out, and this agent, he's an older guy, and he called me. He's like,
found her on Bumble.
He's like, hey Ash. He goes,
yeah.
I just saw you on Bumble. I'm like, what? I go, it's like a new real estate app. He's like, no, it's a dating app. So I got catfished. And this was back in 2016, I think.
Hold on, let me look at
I don't even
your
know if
profile.
Bumble was even around then.
Where can I find you on Bumble?
I'm assuming it was. Well, you won't. It's not there, my friend.
That's
but I feel like we are losing.
Yep.
We are losing everything that it is with, there's some major things that happen in our lives, right?
Yep.
Monumental moments. Finding the love of your life, buying a home and having a baby. Let's go back to the old school. We're losing that. And I love technology. I love technology. We love technology. Look at this room. Like there's technology everywhere.
She's watching herself.
And we're delivering technology. I'm looking at you, so I can't watch myself. But we're watching
you should look
technology.
At me.
And
you get the real life Bumble.
But but we're losing that sense of a touch. Like, account your ability to be awesome and to have face-to-face and belly-bellies with people and be held accountable once you meet them and following through and having integrity. But yet, just like dating, real estate's becoming that. And so, like you said before, I'm going to reiterate is now these people are looking online and they're buying houses sight unseen for $25,000 over what it's even worth. And the pictures don't look like the house. Like I was with an agent earlier today, and he had an issue with a transaction because he did a sight unseen. These buyers are from out of state. And they're like, we want this house. He's like, no, you need to come see it. And they said, no, we want to buy it, put it in contract. They came out. There was power lines. Would you think they photographed the power lines? Nope.
Oh, they did?
No, they didn't photograph the power lines. There was power lines because Old Town Scottsdale, Old Town Scottsdale, some of you might not be familiar with Old Town Scottsdale. Old Town Scottsdale has power lines all running down. It was like 70 Miller, 78th Street, where the park is. And some of them are hanging over the pools and they have the strings, but they don't photograph that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily malicious, but I mean, that's the part of why you.
I'm not saying it's malicious by any means. Like, this is not, I think that we've gotten so lost in that belly to belly touch, eye contact, and holding ourselves to be our true selves. Like some people put pictures online of houses that don't show their faults. Just like some people online put pictures of them looking like their best. They're not going to show like their, unmentionables as as they shouldn't, because
it's a different website.
Whatever. But my point is and this is just and I don't even know how we got here, because that was not my intention to relate dating sites.
She was really geared up to get into this whole thing. So I'm curious as to where she takes it to.
This is what I wasn't going here.
Boy. It's been a day.
What I was actually really what I really wanted to come in and talk about when I had messaged you was having those conversations with your realtor and the lender, and making sure they're talking. The accountability is between the consumer, being the buyer, the seller, the agent, and the lender.
I think what you hit upon, and if you guys have any questions or anything comments you want to put in there, go ahead and put in there.
I haven't been looking at my Facebook Live.
Edgar put time will always show us who is the quality, dependable, ethical people are with integrity are. We just have to observe. And
I love that.
So I think what you're trying to get at is that we're losing a sense of connection with people, that sense of genuineness. And I think if we actually, in this market especially, that if we actually did communicate with people and did have discussions and weren't so, I guess, selfish in a way, we would actually be able to communicate and and do what's best for both clients and be able to get a house for our clients. It's just, it's so weird how culture in our society has changed so much, where we've separated that sense of like learning how to communicate, learning how to date,
Well, do you
learning
think
how to
it's
do some of this.
selfishness, or do you think it's scarcity? Because they're kind of one and the same. A lot of times selfishness could be a personality, but people can interpret being selfish for scarcity.
Well, I think so. I think you touch upon a broader subject in our culture. We have a culture who it's very segmented from other people.
People are scared right now. They're buying. What's called fear of missing out.
FOMO. Yeah.
A scarcity.
Yeah. And that happens. That happens in free markets, and that just happens in general. But I think the thing that you wanted to touch upon, or at least hit upon, is that genuine human connection with the people that we deserve or desire for, but don't know how to articulate it. And again, that's a broader kind of a discussion to have. Oh, there she is.
Oh, so this is my alarm real quick.
So we're at 23 minutes. So again, if you like what you're seeing, please hit the little thumbs up button, because we appreciate the support. And if you're on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button, because we love YouTube and we love YouTubers.
So I think the bottom line is, because I know you and I both have to skedaddle.
We have to exit out.
We have to skedaddle.
It's almost the end of the road for us both.
Is having those, at the end of the day, when I say count your ability equals accountability, it also is communication. So, Robert, I know that you are an amazing communicator.
I paid her to say that, by the way.
No, he didn't, because he wasn't always in real estate. So I know that his job prior to was about communication and helping others and integrity and accountability. So you have that ability, and not everyone has that. And thank you for having that.
Oh, well, thank you, and I appreciate the words.
Absolutely, and
I do find that amiss with other agents and some of the transactions that we have. I feel like, again, there is that separation, and probably COVID expanded that by tenfold. This whole distance and communication. I mean, we were doing Zoom calls forever, and it's just within the last couple of months we started doing in studio calls. Yeah, and look at where we're at. We're coming around. We're coming around the corner. And hopefully, we can demonstrate through our own actions and connect with people and show them a different way to do things. And that's not very it's not very easy to do, because it's just when I did social work, one of the things that I used to, tell and prepare my investigators for, because I did investigations for 10 years, is that you want to go in there changing the world.
We all want to change the world.
Well, yeah.
You and I do. I don't know if everyone else does, but we do.
But you can change somebody's world out there. You can't change the whole thing. There's what, 300 billion people or whatever the 3 billion people on the planet, and as big as your heart is, it's not going to fix everything. But if you touch upon one person, you change their world, and hopefully they will emulate what you're doing and affect other people around them, and it'll continue on that way. Right. So I think at the end of the day, in the learning lesson, because we're at the 25-minute hour, 25-minute clock, the biggest learning lesson is to treat others with respect, and integrity. don't set expectations too high that you don't expect for yourself.
Well, in writing down what your goals are. So when I come to you as a client, I say, hey, Robert, these are my goals and these are my expectations. And you say, hey, Ashley, this is what I can deliver to you. And then we sit there and we have a conversation. We communicate. Yeah. And I think communication is key.
What do you want to tell me? What do you want to say? We got 5 minutes left. I'm sure people want to hear.
No, I think at the end of the day, if somebody out there who is looking to buy or sell a house, one of the biggest thought processes, there's so many agents. I mean, right now we have like 86,000 licensed real estate agents. Yeah, some weird obscure number like that. 36,000 do, like about 1% of the transactions, which means one deal per year. Yeah. Like only one deal per year. And if you are going to work with an agent, find an agent that you can hold accountable and you can have those conversations with. And if you're working with a lender, find a lender that you can pick up the phone and call, and they're going to call you back. Yeah. If you're working with a title company, which I'm in title, I don't do your guys' paperwork. I kind of play, I'm like the matchmaker. I'm the matchmaker. I introduce clients and lenders and agents together. I'm like a professional matchmaker in real estate. Yeah. And we do our best to put all the paperwork together based upon the buyer and the seller and the buyer's agent and the seller's agent. and making sure that the seller agent and the buyer agent have a good relationship, and being your own advocate. Being your own advocate. Communication. If you are a buyer with a buyer agent, communicating with your agent. If you're the seller with the seller agent, communicate with your seller agent. Making sure that everyone has this amazing relationship. And in our team does. We put all the pieces together, and then eventually you guys get married, and we hand you your keys to your little humble abode.
She's still equating it to.
I know, because it's the only way I can think to equate what's happening in this crazy real estate industry, where we're buying houses unseen. We're dating people we haven't seen. We're signing paperwork to get keys to a life that maybe we didn't do enough research on.
Yeah, and I'd say if you're in the market and you're a buyer, and you're looking for an agent, Zillow does a lot of reviews. I think Redfin does, Realtor does reviews and stuff. Really investigate who your agent is, and see what their comments are. And I wasn't a big proponent.
Or interview your agent.
Yeah, even that too. You don't have to take what's given to you.
You can call Robert. His number is.
Oh.
That's okay.
480-52. Hold on, what is it? My number is 480-528-8486. Go and give me a call anytime you want for real estate questions and answers. Like that?
Exactly like that.
You like that part?
That was awesome.
No, but again, whoever you feel comfortable with, whether it's your cousin, I'll take.
It could be your cousin, but maybe your cousin doesn't know the market. So find that person, call that number.
Yeah, that's hard.
And do it, and make sure that you're making a good decision for yourself. And just don't look at the pictures online, because Zillow
she's still upset about the power lines up there.
Zillow lies.
But it is. Kidding. We're at the half-hour mark, Miss. So we're going to be signing off now, and I saw a lot of comments. So if you guys have any further questions next week, we're going to be getting to those, and hopefully we'll answer them as we go along, because we're trying to build this. We're trying to build this platform. Oh,
I want to know, because we started this show. I know you're trying to do Danny. We started this show. We're going to start doing this Monday. But no, we want to know what people want to hear about. Because every Monday we try to come up with these ideas, and I just come up with these
yeah, she was crazy today trying to do like, I want to do an accountability. Get on it. She came in the door in the bathroom. She started giving the show, and I'm like, hold on, we gotta get online.
Fire. But no, so if you guys want to hear about anything else, you have questions, you're like, I want to learn about or hear about, definitely share, comment, and we'll deliver the information with some enthusiasm.
So yes, we'll be back next Monday with some topic. I mean, we kind of did this on the fly this week, but
we're always on the fly.
We're always on the fly.
Life is always on the fly.
I feel like that sometimes. Yeah.
It is.
I am Robert Morales, RCO Network, HomeSmart. Those people back here, Miss Ashley Miller from Great American Title. Please, we will see you hopefully next week. Tune in. 2 o'clock, right?
I'll be here next week.
We'll be back next week.